All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, here's a CD by Bart Crow. Who the heck is Bart Crow, right? Well, West Texas dirt music for you, red dirt country, or dirt rock, as I call it. I think it should be called dirt rock because it is rock, but it's for West Texas type people. This is called The Parade. It's just good music, folks. All of that stuff is consistently good. It's real, it's organic. Um, Hard to lip sync if you're a West Texas type dude or dudette. Speaking of really good Americana sounding stuff, holy crap, Chris Stapleton, right? I called that a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago when I first heard Chris Stapleton, and they couldn't put him in a category. Country radio at that time was ignoring him, even though his album was doing great. And then finally they had to start playing it because people are like, hey, how come you're not playing Chris Stapleton? What's weird about Chris is he's an R&B singer. If you listen to him, it's R&B. It's just so good. And his version of the national anthem, if that doesn't move you just a little bit, then I'm thinking that maybe you need to have your ears checked. One of the best, if not the best, renditions of the national anthem. Apparently, it brought Sammy Hagar to tears. That's what he said over on Twitter or somewhere. People were commenting on his comments. And so good old-fashioned Americana, a lot like Bruce Springsteen, right? All right, so the transition was lousy, but we're going to talk about the boss because he had to cancel. Well, nope, sorry. He didn't cancel a show that he probably should have canceled, but he played a stripped back set. Stripped back, so fewer songs and not enough musicians, but at least it shows that Bruce might be actually performing these songs and not lip syncing. Bruce Springsteen plays a stripped back set after three, it says two, but it was actually 3 E Street Band members test positive for the thing. So the 3 members here are Stevie Van Zandt, who went on Twitter and told everybody he's fine. Violinist, that's an interesting occupation within the E Street Band. I don't think of that band and violins too often, but apparently they have a violinist. Her name is Susie Tyrell. She also sings for the band. She tested positive for the thing. And Springsteen's wife, singer guitarist Patti Scialfa, was absent from the stage for undisclosed reasons. Undisclosed. All right, so at least two, maybe 3, but in any event, 3 members of the E Street they're not on the E Street. They're not there. And according to the boss, both Stevie and Susie had the thing before they made it to the American Airlines Center, which it's a good thing it's not named the Southwest Airlines Center, because if it was, there would be no employees there. There'd be nobody working concessions. Everybody would be on strike, and they wouldn't have enough people to run the arena. Anyway, here's what Bruce had to say. Well, we got a few members missing tonight. We got Stevie Van Zandt. He's got the thing. Susie Tyrell. She's got the thing. And Patti Scialfa. Of course, I don't know what she's got, but it's undisclosed. But dag nabbit, that's not the word he used. Dag nabbit, we're going to give Dallas the best show they've ever seen. The rocker told the crowd at the top of the show before promptly jumping into Out in the Street from 1980's The River. Great song. I like The River, and I like that song. It's good. For his part, Van Zandt took to Twitter to assure fans he was already on the mend because he'd, done the thing multiple times. Thank you for oh, it's worth the risk. It's worth it, people. It's worth it because look at the results here, right? It's worth it. Just go ahead and do another one. Thank you for all your best wishes and positive vibes. I've got a very mild case and hope to be back for Houston. Of course, it's always mild. You know, I had a mild case too. Last week, I had a mild case. If you've noticed, I'm starting to feel a lot better. It was never really that bad. It was kind of like what happened to me when I was like 8 years old and my mom gave me chicken soup. And I'd take a couple of aspirin and go to bed and sleep it off and feel a little bit better the next day. And progressively, it would work itself out. That's what people used to do. Now they run to CVS, 3, 4, 5 times. And then they tell everybody, see, this is great. And I'm like, no, it's the same as not going to CVS 3 or 4 times. Anyway, Billboard has reached out, that's the magazine, to Springsteen and the E Street Band's rep for comment on whether the next planned tour stop, that would be Valentine's Day night in Houston, will feature the full band. Meanwhile, the band is continuing their international tour with a planned stop in Austin on Thursday before heading to Kansas City, Tulsa, Portland, Seattle, Denver, and more. The U.S. leg of the trek will conclude on April 14th with a hometown show in Newark, New Jersey. I thought they were from Asbury Park. Before the band sets or jets off to Europe. So Springsteen, with the abbreviated or at least truncated or diminished version, I'm wondering if any of the ticket prices were retroactively reduced, like dynamic pricing, like it went the opposite direction. Well, there isn't the full E Street Band tonight, so ticket prices miraculously started going down like stocks. They were $400 a ticket. Now they're $85. So grab them while you can. And in parentheses, it's like, not the full E Street Band. But come on in. We got to fill seats. We got to make the most of this. So look, if you don't have the full band, then you should do something. You should reduce the price or you should cancel and reschedule. But the show must go on, and those dynamic ticket prices that everybody paid, they weren't going to fork that back over to the fans. Nope, they weren't. So anyway, it's Bart Crow. This is real music for real people in real time. Yeah, it's just good. The Parade, West Texas, dirt rock or red dirt country, however you want to describe it. I really like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, people. Hit the bell for notifications right here. Patreon for $1 a month. YouTube memberships. You can do both if you want to. I don't do dynamic memberships. The more people sign up, the higher the price goes to be a member. Same with Patreon. You can do whatever you want on Patreon as long as it's at least $1 and try to be nice. That's all I ask. Nice, sort of like-minded. If you like what I do and you want to have a conversation, I'm here for you most of the time. All right, I'm done. See you soon.